According to a report, Maine is performing in line with its long-term economic goals, especially when it comes to wages, the labor workforce, and broadband access.
But that growth is being challenged every day by things like the unaffordable cost of housing. News Center Maine's Sam Olson has more on the report, but also how one business in Edgecombe is changing the way it does business.
As a snapshot of what's going on in the economy.
In its annual report, Maine's Economic Growth Council usually assigns gold stars to the parts of Maine's economy that have made progress and red flags in areas that need more attention. This year, it is given 4 gold stars: the labor force, internet connectivity, safety, because Maine's crime rate is the 3rd lowest in the nation, and entrepreneurship.
For more than 10 years, we've had more startups than business closures or failures in our state. We're doing something right.
Here at Glidden Point Oyster Farms, owner Ryan McPherson wants to grow experience. Of course, they do oysters, but they also have saunas, a retail shop, and tours to diversify their business.
You know, we're ultimately in a somewhat commodity market in the seafood, and so if we can add a little bit more value to that anywhere, we'll take that. We'll take that risk, and we'll put that effort in to capture it.
McPherson bought Glidden Point about a decade ago.
Yeah, so in 2016 when we bought the farm, it basically had this platform.
But he is trying a new business model called value added, a way to transform Maine's natural resources into higher value experiences. Glidden Point has saunas and shucking lessons, and a small retail shop, to name a few things it's added to give customers the feeling they've gotten their money's worth. Meanwhile, the Growth Council thinks Maine should put more resources into research and development, 4th and 8th grade education based on recent test scores, and housing affordability. The report shows 64% of families last year were not able to afford the median priced home. Maine Development Foundation's president says when they surveyed people who moved to Maine, the responses were similar.
The cost of housing was a huge barrier for them, and in some cases almost a deal breaker as far as them being able to move here to take a job in Maine.
He says Maine still has a ways to go, but he's optimistic about its economic growth. In Edgecombe, Sam Olson, News Center, Maine.
That report also shows 2 metrics that reached the benchmarks set years ago. Maine's poverty level has steadily declined and has stayed below the U.S. average. Also, its gross domestic product has outpaced the rest of New England and the country.